Okay, so first thing I want to talk to you about is the actual shape of the foot. Now, you're going to want to do your own research for the actual anatomy of the foot, but I'm just going to give you a couple of things or guidelines that are important when it comes to the shape of the foot. First thing, when you're just getting the basic shape down, you want to make sure that this arch right here is prominent. You don't want it to slope inward or too outward. You want it to be a good balance of that. But you got to make sure you put that in, or else it won't look like a real foot. Another thing is that point kind of slopes here. So not only does it come out this way, but it also comes up this way. So if this clay was malleable right now, I would be smoothing it with my thumbs downward. You know what I mean? To make it into like a point. Also, at the actual toes, right here, it kind of indents a little bit. So the foot goes up, down, and then back up. And then you get to the toes. But yeah, you want to make sure, I don't know if you can see this, but you want to make sure that there's kind of a little indentation right here. And you can probably see that it curves around this way. So yeah, don't forget that. Another thing, the heel, it should protrude right here. And there should be 2 indentions on the side. So once again, if this clay was soft, I would take my thumbs and just push down in like a triangular type shape. And also, you probably can't see this because I have epoxy on here, but the heel curves around this way. Okay? So not only are you pushing in this way, but you're also curving it on this edge. So it should be 2 lines coming down this side and then going out this way, and then another line going this way. And once again, like, you don't want these to be too obvious. Like, yeah, these are shapes that need to be identified, but if you look at an actual foot, they're very gradual, okay? It's not sharp points, unless that's what you're going for. Another thing, the foot obviously comes out here. It's like, I don't know what the bone's called, but it's some sort of bone that, actually, what would that be? That would be the femur? I don't know. It's probably in your arm or something, but it's right on the outer edge of the foot. So I put them on both. One is, I still have a lot of work to do on these, but you'll see it sticks out on the edges here. Okay? So yeah, once again, not too obvious, just very slight. Can't really see it with this lighting, but you get an idea. Another thing, the arch here, I've noticed on lots of ball jointed doll feet that this isn't too prominent, and that's why I made mine quite prominent. I want it to curve quite a bit. Also, I just thought it looked more stylized, but you can determine how much you want it to go out. I did it that way because I like it, and that's the way, or that's how, I don't know, I just liked it. What else? Oh, okay, this is really, really important. You want to make sure that the feet stay flat. Definitely need that to stay flat, like one of the most important things. If there's any kind of bump or anything on there, then your doll's gonna have stability problems. Like, I still need to do quite a bit of sanding, but if you look, they're relatively flat. And it's okay for them to go up at the feet. Like, if you want the feet or the toes to curve up a bit, that's fine. But you just have to make sure that the majority of the sole is flat. And if it isn't, you can always sand it down after. You just don't want to sand it down too much after, or else it'll wreck the shape of the foot. So try and get that done as early as possible. Another thing, when you're actually placing the joint, the ball joint on the foot, you want to make sure that not only is it in the center at the top, but it comes in a bit from the heel. And the reason for that is when you are placing your doll, here, hold on. Oops. Okay. When you put the feet on the doll, if it's too far back, like too far back this way, then the foot will tilt and that'll cause problems. So you want to make sure that when you put the leg on top of the foot, it can hold weight, you know? Another thing that's super important that kind of determines whether it looks realistic or not is when you point the toe and the ball is actually connected to the foot, there's a straight line from all the way down the leg to the bottom of the toe, and it kind of sticks out here. Because if you point your foot and look at it, it's a straight line, right? It's not gonna be, the foot's not gonna be back farther like this, or it's not gonna be here. You want it to be a completely straight line all the way down. Okay, what else? Okay, I'm just gonna sculpt a really, really rough shape of a foot and kind of show you how I would do the details. So this is just some cheapy Van Aken oil-based clay. I pretty much use this stuff. I use this stuff all the time. If there's something that I want to test out but I don't want to make in my more expensive clays, or if I just want to see what it'll look like before actually cooking it or something, I'll sculpt it in this, like a rough form of it in this, and then I'll redo it if I like it in the actual clay, in like Sculpey or epoxy or something. This stuff also works really good for sticking things together temporarily. Like if you want to see what your doll will look like all set up, but you can't string it or anything, just stick this in the joints and it will stick together. Oops. Okay, this is obviously not what a real foot looks like. This is just a rough shape of a foot. Just so that I can show you guys how to do the toes. Okay, so there's the rough shape, right? Now, what you're gonna wanna do, so this is the stage that I have it at right here, obviously not in reality, but you want to have the basic shape of the entire foot before you do any of the things that I'm about to show you. And the basic shape of the foot I can't really show you because, I mean, it all depends on what you want to make, so that is up to you.